What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode here of Fatboy FadeAway Sports Podcast. We're here November 15th, 2020, getting started on time, about 6:54 a.m. It's cold here in my garage. I'm freezing here. It's all right, though. I got my cup of coffee that's keeping my hands warm. I don't know how you guys are doing in the elements, but I'm freezing out here. But I know there's other people that maybe listen in other states that probably don't have anything. Probably don't have much to complain about. I'm still wearing shorts at the garage at the same time. We were talking to a couple friends in Missouri. Aragon and them. I guess they're dealing with tornadoes now. So I guess it could be worse right now. I think it is. But it is. What's up, guys? How was your week this week? Yeah, exactly. How was your week this week? Did you guys have Veterans Day off, or did you both have to work?
No, I had to work. Cool.
Yeah. Well, I work at a school, so we were able to get that day off. So we went out to the beach and stuff. So it was good. I was also watching catching a little bit of the Masters, trying to catch on Tiger after he played well on Thursday, but he's a little bit out of it now. But T, were you able to watch a bit of the Masters or anything?
I just got to watch the first round, and he's just mad. Like, when you watch him play well, he brings he's one of those special athletes that you feel like something special could be happening. Like, whenever you watch
Tiger,
him,
right?
Tiger.
Yeah.
Tiger. And there's few athletes that are like him where you have to watch when he's playing, especially if he's playing well. You can't, and the camera is always on him. Even ESPN shows him the whole time, every shot, basically, when he's in it.
They almost show him walking the whole course too, huh?
Yeah, exactly. He's just even watching Dustin Johnson those last two rounds. I didn't really watch, but I saw the scores and they're unbelievable. And it's just I still don't have any interest in watching Sunday because I know Tiger's not going to win. So
he's still that's the problem golf's going to have going forward is, do they have that next guy that can really draw the fringe fan? Maybe you. Casey, I know doesn't watch as much, but maybe me and you will watch a little bit of the majors regardless. But you're right, they don't really have that guy like Tiger to keep the interest going. It is crazy to think how he's almost at the end of his career, but he just won the Masters last year. And then what's he at this round right now?
I think he's at -5.
-5.
He's -4 after round one, and then
he shot even.
Yeah, but he didn't finish his second round. Yeah.
You check any of the Masters out, Case?
I just think, he's just not – he's polarizing. He's just a polarizing figure where, it's kind of incredible. It's he's, pretty much on his decline after. But
absolutely.
But, compared to where he was at. But it's Tyler was saying,
still gotta watch him.
If he's not in it on a Sunday, my interest in golf goes from about here to down there.
Yeah, to not watch it.
Exactly.
Unless I have money on somebody.
I think that's why golf really wanted that Bryson DeChambeau to win this week, just because he won the last major, and he was a lot of people are accusing him of being kind of maybe possible roids because he put on 40 pounds or something like that, and is driving the ball unheard of distance or something. But he struggled this week, so he came back to earth a little bit. Tyler, you got your wish there. He struggled a little bit. How's your did you put money on Tiger too a little bit?
Yeah, I put $10. I would have won $350 on a $10 bet for the defending champ. I was I'll take that.
What do you have to make up 7 strokes today?
Not more than that, 15 or 14.
Man, it's crazy watching these guys, though. That's the one thing with golf. You have to respect golfers because we've all done it. And it's just it's such a difficult skill to do. So it's just the fact that these guys make it look so easy sometimes it's crazy. -15 at the Masters. Are you kidding me? Are you getting 15 under?
It's just hilarious to me when they miss the chip, they're 15 feet away from the green, and the guy's it's not a very good shot. And I'm if I hit it on the green, that's a fantastic shot.
You're yeah. That's when we go to our little fairgrounds course that has easy putting or something like that, or and on TV it looks nice because the greens are so they're so smooth. I haven't worked out as much lately. Maybe not. Like the greens look all smooth and stuff, like on the TV, like, oh, that'd be like a carpet to putt on. But if you were out there, like, I bet there's just so many hidden like hills and slopes, and like the greens are probably even harder to change. So that is where I would be absolutely horrible. Like more than any other thing, I think I would just lose so many strokes putting on that course. I'd probably be like 4 putting like every time I was on there to begin with. So so it sounds like none of us are going to probably watch then, since Big Tiger's not in.
Yeah.
I'll probably check in on it a little bit.
It's close. I'll like watch the last hole.
Yeah, I'll probably see if Johnson's still up by 4 strokes. I probably will just stick to the NFL tonight, or NFL, and even Cal, a little UCLA game as well, getting in there. So, all right, well, that's our little bit of a Masters update, I guess, there with the golf there. So, gentlemen, we got to get out on the course one more time before it really starts raining here. So we got to try to get out one more time as well. All right, so let's do it. We'll get into the NFL, you think? Sound good? Well, I think let's start this NFL segment out with an apology here. I think me and Casey, I started it, but I was a little harsh on the Saints last week, maybe saying that
and Drew
especially, but saying the window might be shut, and I think I might have said it is shut, and they came out and decided to win 38-3, make me look like an idiot. So congratulations on that. But in all seriousness,
not very hard to do though.
But in all seriousness, the Bucs look like total crap. I mean, they could not have played any worse. But I do owe the Saints an apology. They look like, Tyler, you look like you might be right. Looks like they might have a little bit more of a window open than I thought. They're 6-2 now, 6-3 now, so they're kind of right back into like one of the top NFC teams again. But I guess the thing I underestimated was their defense going into it, and maybe just having Thomas and Sanders back just makes such a difference with Kamara, even, being able to have even more space off little dump routes and stuff like that. So Drew Brees, Sean Payton, the New Orleans Saints, to our no listeners in Louisiana, I apologize for ripping on you. Tyler, what did you know that I didn't know? And what?
they have a great coach and a quarterback who knows how to win games. So I'm not going to count Peyton and Breeze out as a duo, especially with weapons like Kamara and Michael Thomas. So and then their defense, like you said, with Demario Davis and Malcolm Jenkins back. Michael back this year. I'm not going to count them out.
I
don't think they're the favorite.
It was a bad pick by me. You just want to call me an idiot. You thought it was.
It was a terrible. How about you compared Matthew Stafford to Drew Brees?
Maybe a little rush. Hopefully, maybe I'm hoping the Saints maybe Saturday. Casey, help us out. We didn't make the smartest maybe call there last week.
I'm not going to apologize for anything. I still believe it.
I like it.
The Bucs and Saints just don't match up. I mean, the Saints are 2-0 against the Bucs, and the Bucs are 1-0 against Green Bay. It's just a matter of matchups. So,
yeah, it's funny. It's like if I was the Bucs fan, I'd almost want to see the Saints now a third time, just because I believe in that theory sometimes in the NFL, anyways. That sometimes at that third time, it can go your way. The Bucs had an incredible stat from the Bucs. They broke a record, 4 rush attempts. We're in a new NFL this year, gentlemen. They had 4 rush attempps last week, Casey. Incredible.
I played Leonard Fournette last week. I was like, what the hell?
Maybe Antonio Brown, bad juju. He just couldn't get it off. Mike Evans was non-existent on my fantasy team. Throw him the ball, for goodness sake. He's like 6'12".
No team.
My goodness, 7 feet tall.
Evan Garnett.
All right, so let's get into our Let's Go for 2 segment. We'll go. I'll try to get through this a little bit here. We'll do a little bit different this week. Instead of going 2 games, we'll preview. Let's look back at one, and then we'll look ahead to one. The reason I wanted to look back was I thought that Raiders-Chargers game that we chose last week to look ahead to was kind of a good game to look back at real quick. Raiders end up, pulling it out. Casey, we almost just perfectly called the game, almost to a T, to where we said, the Raiders will think that they're going to have you at 5-3, and then they're going to pull it back and break your heart. And we were just a little, literally about an inch away from that being calling it to the best case scenario there. It was incredible. What was your thoughts on the game? The other thing too, I wanted to get your thoughts on as a Raider fan here is, are you starting to believe in them a little bit? I'm starting to I'm not sure if I want to to go there yet. I'm not sure. I'm a little bit hesitant to put my emotion there yet. Are you on board now?
I'm always a believer. It's just making me believe is the hardest thing to do because I mean,
it does sound like
5-3,
the same thing to me.
That doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Yeah, it does. Believer is, something that hasn't happened yet. Believe is when I see it happen. Come on, fellas.
Good point.
No, I still don't get it, but okay, carry on.
That. And then, I don't know. I think the Chargers game, which I still can't believe some people think it was a catch. It was still kind of blowing my mind.
How could you think that was a catch, right? The
I
ball,
don't
like, clearly found.
I've heard a lot of stations, not a lot, but definitely more than enough to be like, what the hell? Like, are you serious? Like, how is that that's not even close to what the catch should be, but okay. But
sounds like a lot of money on that game.
It was a great game.
Yeah.
I actually thought Derek Carr, he played pretty well. He didn't throw for a lot, but he didn't throw any picks. 165 with 2 touches, and then Devontae Booker, for some reason, looks pretty damn good, like the Raiders running backs. And then they got a lot of speed, which I was like, okay. But what's his name? God, Justin Herbert, man, that guy's freaking hella good.
Hey, Case, remember how last week, Tyler, we'll get to you last week, guys. We said, I was like, it's kind of crazy that the reason we took the Chargers is basically because we trusted their like 4-game starting quarterback over our 7-year starting quarterback. And Carr throws 165 for 2 touchdowns, and Herbert throws 326 for 2 touchdowns. And Herbert is just like, man, his ability to throw the ball down the field is really impressive. Tyler, like,
Daren.
Having technical.
He was just about to give me a compliment.
He's about the backhand.
like, what's the deal with the Chargers?
Hold on,
They
Daren,
can't.
you got to restart. You were about to give me a compliment. I didn't hear it.
Was that a compliment to you?
I don't know. You said Tyler said. And then...
No, but what the Chargers collapses too, man. They like keep blowing games here, or just losing heartbreakers, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I think we spoke on it last week when we were talking about Anthony Lynn and why he shouldn't be fired. We were saying, well, maybe this is why some people want him gone.
Because he can't coach the last like 5 minutes, I guess.
I mean, I'd be pretty frustrated if I was a Chargers fan, and I don't know who I'd blame. I can't blame my quarterback.
Yeah.
But
what do you think of Herbert, though?
Oh, he's a stud. He kind of reminds me of Mahomes a little bit, the way he can move and throw and how much they love to go deep.
Yeah. And, oh, man, they just are driving the ball down the field right now. Like, it's so much fun to watch them.
Yeah, they're very entertaining.
It's crazy to see them play a little bit. The Chargers are definitely the Falcons right now. The AFC, they have that stigma right now. They are on that run right now. But yeah, so I thought it was interesting to look back at that game. So the Raiders are 5-3 now. Case Chargers fall to 2-6. The Chargers, I'm not sure. Do I cross them off the list? Are they off the playoff list now? Are they not? Are they a team we can eliminate from making the playoffs at 2-6? Can we cross them off? Cross them off, Case?
I mean, I would say, yeah. I mean, you have to win probably 6 more games. I can't really
probably
see them going 6-2.
I think I just want them to make the playoffs because of Herbert. So that's exactly why I want them to do.
I mean, if they do, that'd be impressive. But I just don't see it happening.
They get Eckler back soon.
Yeah, that's true. He'll help them a little bit on the ground game for sure.
The Raiders are playing the Broncos today, so we'll find out.
Big game. We'll see if any of us put something on it. All right, let's go to our second one here. Let's go for 2 segment here. We got so we'll look ahead here. I was looking at the games and I was like, man, there was a few good ones, a couple decent ones. I didn't think this was like a huge week for like prime matchups, but the one that kind of I thought was the most intriguing was the Bills at Cardinals. Just I don't know, kind of 2 young quarterbacks under 24 playing well. The thing about both of them is like they couldn't be more opposite physique wise, but both kind of play, with the same kind of mindset of like scrambling. They're very, very elusive. Allen obviously is much bigger, but he's very fast for his size. And man, did he ever light the Seahawks up last week? Was that a bad week to put money on the Seahawks? My goodness, that was horrible. I mean, they get up to like a 17-0 lead, like it's nothing. They win 44-34 over Seattle. The Cardinals lose to the Dolphins, but Murray is incredible to watch as well. So I don't know, Tyler. On the Bills are the hard one for me in this matchup. I just can't get a read on them. Are you starting to believe in Allen a little bit? Like he's I just literally he's the one quarterback where I'm just like, I'm not sure yet. And so I'm just curious, like, what's your thoughts on Allen and like, maybe where you have him ranked as a quarterback overall?
I have him like at borderline top 10, but I believe in him in the playoffs is when I kind of lose him because he made some bonehead plays sometimes. Like he turns the ball over a little too much sometimes, especially last year, he like tried to do this crazy lateral against the Colts that basically cost him the game. But I believe in him as a player. His trajectory last year from this year, he's gotten way better. He's already only one touchdown behind last year's target, and he already has 14 career rushing touchdowns. He had 9 last year, and he has 5 this year. So, like you said, he's very mobile and can make plays. He reminds me of a little more athletic Big Ben, but not as clutch.
So you have him? You think he's like in that tier 2 category as a quarterback?
Yeah,
not even that high.
A little like top of tier 3.
So is he better than
tier 2?
Is he better than Drew Brees?
For one, I'd still take Drew Brees in one game. Going forward, yeah.
All right, we had to keep the consistency there. We had to ask there. Case, my question kind of towards you and me, and you can throw it out to all of us, but I'll let you go first on it. I don't know what it is. Like, are the NFCs? It just feels like such an open conference this year. I know, like we said, the Saints are in the mix, but they don't feel like dominant like some of the teams of the AFC. Am I crazy to think like the Cardinals could be in the mix at the end of the year for like the best team in the NFC, or at least make the Super Bowl? Is that crazy to think?
I don't think it is because the NFC, and I was gonna be like, oh, the Saints held the Bucs to 3 points, but I mean, if you look at it, there's not really a dominant defense the Seahawks defense is atrocious.
Yes.
Cardinals defense is not great, but they're okay, but their offense is unreal. And I feel like that's how the whole NFC, like you got the Bucs, the Saints, the Packers, Cardinals are probably pretty close to that. And then so they all can score points and they all have pretty damn good quarterbacks. It's just who on defense is going to come up. I mean, I don't know. But I don't think you're crazy at all. I would put them probably right there.
Let me ask you this: Are they better than Green Bay? Tyler, any of you guys answer it?
No.
Better than Green Bay?
No.
I don't.
Could they beat Green Bay? I mean, do you feel like
sure they could beat them? But if they're on a neutral field, I'd take Green Bay.
I'm not so sure. How about Tampa?
Well, I gotta
take Tampa.
I'd go with Tampa.
I take Tampa.
Tampa.
I'm not as high on as you two are, I guess. I think they're good. They'll make the playoffs, and I think they'll be out in 1 or 2 games.
I guess my point is like the NFC just feels so open. Like I could just see a team like them, upsetting any of these teams. Like it just feels like any team could win, any team could lose this year in the NFC right now. So I just feel like the Cardinals they're kind of a wrench. There's kind of they could be that team that I don't know, could upset a team in the first round, but they also do feel like that team, like almost like the early Packers with Rodgers that like could score a ton of points, but would just lose heartbreaking games as well in the playoffs. Like kind of how they lost last week to the Dolphins as well. They feel like they could be one of those teams as well. Cause I'm not sure about their coach. Like I love his offense, but like some of the decisions, like there was something, what was it on Sunday Night Football a couple of weeks ago? Like the clock was running out or something like that to kick a field goal. I don't know if you guys caught that. And I think it was like his assistant coach or something ran up to him, was like, you got to call timeout. And he had to like sprint over to the ref real quick with like barely any time left to probably get one of those cheap timeouts that was probably not in time, but they gave it to him anyways. So yeah, some his things kind of worry me a little bit, maybe come playoff time, like you're saying. So we'll see how that plays out. So, all right. I mean, I don't know. I just kind of believe in the Cardinals, I guess, a little bit more. And I guess I just don't believe in some of the NFC teams as much. So I guess we'll just kind of see how that plays out. I do wish Murray would play baseball too. I wish it was still kind of like the 80s, right? You just could see what his potential would be like baseball wise. Cause man, he's so like explosive. Like I bet if he was on the bases though, I bet he's an unreal base runner in baseball at the time. All right. So let's get on to our dump and run segment here. We got 3 questions ahead to us. Case, let's start out with you on this one. Which rookie quarterback would you want? You got probably, Herbert, you got Tua, you got Burrow there. which
Jordan
one are you
Love.
feeling? Jordan Love. We haven't seen him, but if you want to go with the unseen potential, I guess you could throw him out there as well. Which one are you gonna start out with? Which one are you going with right now?
God, probably. I thought about this. Joe Burrow. I think he's just, for what he's playing with and how competitive they are. I mean, he's taking like an absolute David Carr type beating, but I mean,
He's getting beat right now.
But yeah, I would take him. I think he's just the most, I wouldn't say most talented, but I think he has the highest upside. He's just a professional.
He might be the most talented dude. He's pretty good.
Yeah. I just thought, I think Herbert, just because of stature, being that tall and that the speed. I mean, Burrow's not slow.
No, Burrow can move.
Burrow's impressive there.
You can't teach accuracy. He's so accurate with the ball.
No, you're right. Especially little Brady, right? Just accurate all the time for sure. Who do you got?
I would be happy with all three of them. I think they're all going to be just fine. But I'm taking Herbert just for the.
What a class! What a rookie class, man.
Can throw the ball, and I don't like that Herbert or that Burrow plays for Cincinnati. That kind of scares me. Just how bad that franchise is. So,
you think they could be like the was it Marino, Bradshaw, and Kelly, or Elway? Elway.
All four. Yeah, no Bradshaw, or like Eli Rivers and Big Ben.
That's what
I think it will be. I think it's going to be one of those draft classes that's.
Yeah, I think it could be just like that. I'm gonna go with Tua, and I think the reason I'm gonna go with him is he looked really good last week, obviously, but I kind of like when I watch him play. He kind of had this effect at Alabama too. He's kind of like Wilson, like they don't really like jump off the screen in terms of like how far they throw the ball or like stuff like that, but they just make it feels like they make winning plays like by being elusive at moments, and it feels like they even raise the level of their teammates' level of play a little bit. I don't know what it is. Like there's just something about them I kind of like, and so I'm with Tyler a little bit on the Herbert looks a little bit more like the part. And in case I'm with you on, I think Burrow's accuracy is definitely better than Tua, but I think he's on the, not far behind those guys on skill level. But I just there was just a few plays I saw him make last week and just in the college. So I'm going to go with Tua.
Watching Tua last week, really, we brought up Russell Wilson looking like Steve Young.
Yeah.
Tua looked almost identical the way he'd run with the ball, like same speed almost, and just his accuracy. He wasn't throwing bullets. It was just very Steve Young-esque the way.
So does that make Baker Mayfield the worst quarterback in the AFC North?
It might be. It might be.
Yeah,
it might be. I think you're right. I think I am not a big Baker fan, so I'd definitely say. But you do have them going to the Super Bowl, so that's all right. Maybe Rex Grossman once got somebody there, so it's possible. All right, let's go to question number 2 here. I think you guys will enjoy this one. I got the most responses I've ever had on Twitter, so we'll see what you guys got in terms of actual comments people made. Where do the Dolphins rank in the pecking order, in the AFC pecking order? You got Kansas City, Pittsburgh, and Baltimore, I feel like are the top 3, even though Baltimore's a little iffy this year. I think most people would agree there. I think better than Baltimore or better than the Colts and stuff like that, and the Dolphins, of course. So, I have the Dolphins, I think, at number 4 because that means you got Vegas, Cleveland, Buffalo, of course, is ahead of them in the division. You got Tennessee and Indianapolis. So I'm going to put the Dolphins at 4. I'm just impressed with their defense and
4th best in all of AFC.
I don't know. I'm either saying Buffalo, Tennessee, or Indianapolis are probably better than them, and I'm not so sure. Like Rivers is better than them. I'm not so sure Tennessee is better than them. I'm not so sure Buffalo is better than them. So I think they could be in the 4th in that order. Where do you see the Dolphins?
I don't know, but not there. You're a big believer in Brian Flores, but that kind of threw me for a loop there. I was like, 4. I thought you were talking like in their whole division at first. I was like, all right, at least put them at 3, but 4 overall, I don't know about that.
I don't know. Like their defense to me looks unreal.
I mean, if they did,
and the teams they've lost to are all really good.
The Patriots.
No, that was the first game of the year, and they lost to the Seahawks by 3. And I feel like they lost to another team that wasn't bad on the top. I just can't think of it right now. But and they beat the Niners. You know, they beat when the Niners. Well, you guys were decent at the time there.
I don't know. I don't know. I think the Colts and the Titans are better than them, and the Browns. I don't know. I do not have them 4. I don't know what.
We know you have the Browns. Tyler, where do you got them?
I have them 7th behind.
And are you a believer at all in them?
I believe they're a good team. They're up and coming. I think they're exciting, but I have Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Kansas City, Tennessee, Indianapolis, and Buffalo ahead of them. But they could beat all those teams except for Kansas City and Pittsburgh.
And I think that's my point with this is like, you know, we can always do this like a what if thing, but I'm just going to be a little bit more like, you know, yeah, we're going to do the what if, and I'm not. If I'm going to pick one of those teams, I guess to believe in as of right now, you know, obviously is. You know, Rivers, I've seen enough of it. You know, their defense is pretty legit, the Colts too, but, you know, I've been impressed with the Dolphins defense as well. So, you know, like I said, maybe putting a little money on the division probably helped. I'll be a little bit more of a fan, but, you know, that's, I'm kind of curious where you guys thought the Dolphins rank in that order. So, big win. They need to win today. They need to win today. All right. So let's get to the third question here on the Dump Run segment. Go ahead.
I thought that would be the game we talked about. Chargers, Herbert versus
there. Yeah. Well, I think that Allen Murray matchup, though, that's going to be an exciting one.
Yeah, that's going to be good too. I'm not.
So let's get to one of our favorite questions here. We both used to play a ton of video games here. We both used to play. We've probably each played Madden, a game probably over 4,000 times in our lives. We probably played each other over 1,000 times as well. We know each other's strengths and weaknesses in the game. So, gentlemen, I've been seeing a little bit more Twitter conversation about the sports games a little bit with the consoles coming out this week. So it made me think about Madden and us playing, and what's our favorite play in Madden? What was the play that was our go-to play, a play we enjoyed to use? It could be simple, it could be creative. What's that play that you go to, Tyler? What's your go-to play in Madden?
Mine's a shotgun twins formation with my running back next to me. And I do just a bunch of herky-jerky stuff on the outside, bunch of window dressing. Then I just have that little running back, do the little Texas, like go to the right tackle, cut back to the middle. And if it's a zone, you got to find something else. But if it's man-to-man, you got 30 yards.
Sounds like you were going to say Y2 banana there. You were getting excited with I like how you went like that. It was good. You started to really break it down there. I felt like you were at your old days there. Case, you got to play you like to go to? Or you liked running a lot?
Just as simple. No, I mean, not doing the fullback dive or anything like that, but
that's the best.
It was just slants. You could just do slants with all three, and then have one go route, hot route. So you have two slants, and then one go route, and then one running back coming out the back, and it was like almost impossible to stop.
Slants were frustrating sometimes because if you were defending like somebody that like you just knew your cornerback like literally like didn't matter, he was just not rated as good of him. Like you could bump and run him, you could put like 7 guys by him and be like, it just wouldn't matter. Like I think Nick Flanagan one time against me got like I felt like Drew Bennett just owned me for like a year. Like I'm like he just would run these slants with Drew Bennett. I hated Drew Bennett. I just hated it with a passion because of those slants. Case I had slants on there too as one of my plays. I always liked the corner route where you go 4 wide, 3 on one side, the tight end would be in, and you'd have the slot receiver. He would go to the corner basically. And you'd have the two guys go deep. That was always like one of my favorite plays to run as well. And then just the simple halfback dive I formation. Adrian Peterson, just that one right there.
I thought you were going to go with the direct snap to the running back.
Wildcat?
No, not a wildcat. It's the quarterback's right next to him. It's this little play. Daren used to run all the time.
Did it work?
Whenever it was like 3rd and 1.
Did it work? I don't remember.
Yeah, it was impossible to stop. In one Madden, I don't know what one it was.
And the other one that was frustrating was the quarterback sneaks on 4th and inches. Like you very rarely could even stop. I was like, dang, especially if you had like a big quarterback. Like
and then when you did you'd get stopped one time. You're like, what the every time, and it's impossible to stop it. And then I do it. Like I falls on his face. Like,
man, I used to get so mad if I lost Madden. Like if I would used to like take that into the I used to take that into the night. I'd be like frustrated with it. I'd be like, God, I can't wait to play again the next day. Like, thankfully, I've matured a little bit in that area. Now that's how Xavier is about
I think
Mario.
you just haven't played Madden yet.
Yeah,
Probably
that's
not.
what I was gonna say.
I got to get back out and play it again. But it's funny, like Xavier's like he's my other son. He's played Mario the other day, like Luigi, and I hear him outside like like he's just like freaking out about the game, and I'm like, whoa, easy, okay. Competitive spirits getting to him there. So I guess it runs in the family a little bit between me and Hans a little bit there. So that's a dump and run segment there. Just wanted to get your guys' take on Madden. If you got a play that you like to run, I'd be curious to get your comment on. Well, so let's move to our gambling segment for the week, gentlemen. You guys had both some rough weeks last week. Tyler 1-4, Casey 2-3. Yours truly 4-1. I jump into the lead at 22-17. Tyler, you're 18-17 in second place. Casey, you're in third at 17-18. Not too far behind. We're still plenty of time for us to win there. So now you guys are looking up. So we'll see how we do this week. I wanted to look at before we gave our picks last week when we gave our picks, when I re-listened to just what we picked so I could get our standings down too. I thought there were some funny things looking back at what we said. Like last week, I was like, the Bucks are easily going to crush the Saints. Wrong there. Casey, the Falcons are the Falcons. Well, they're just the Falcons. They crushed the Broncos. And then Tyler 2-0 he looked not ready and looked awful with 93 yards, which is a true fact, but he did perform well in the last game. So those were just I thought they were just kind of funny things looking back at what we said this week. So with that said, let's make our picks and see what we say stupid this week about them. Case, you want to have the first crack at it?
Sure, let's let the biggest idiot go first.
We'll start at the bottom. Third place goes first. All right, here we go. Get back on board here. Make your customers some money.
Let's see if I can make that money. I'm going to go with kind of some tough games here, but I'm going to go with this one's not, but I'm going to go with the Packers over the Jags.
Okay.
Got them covering, obviously. And then I'm going to go with the Chargers.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Learning this lesson.
I'm going to take the Raiders. And then I'm going to take this one. I'm just going to take the points. The over is the Seattle and Rams game.
Okay.
Surprised they didn't put it at 100 to start, but and then I'm going to take I'm actually going to take the Washington over the Lions.
Wow, a little bit of an upset there. I like it. T, what do you got?
All right. I got Green Bay over the Jags as well. Got the best wide receiver in the NFL, probably. I think if we did that segment again, a lot of us would choose against the porous Jags secondary. And then I got Tampa Bay against Carolina. I'm taking Tampa Bay giving 5.5. They're just due for a bounce back game, and they normally can stop the run. We'll see how they do this week. And then I got Las Vegas versus Denver getting 4.5. I got Las Vegas. Denver's offense sucks, and just there's no dynamic. Like they have some players, but
their tight end not bad. But,
yeah. And Judy's been okay, but I don't know. And then I'm not taking the Chargers ever again. I'm taking the Dolphins. Chargers can't win, so Dolphins have to win by default.
I'm taking them taking the Dolphins.
Getting 2.5.
I don't know if I like you taking the Dolphins.
And then I'm taking the Saints versus the 49ers. I'm taking the Saints.
Oh, come on. Take the Niners.
Getting 9. Niners are looking more and more like a JV team every week.
We said freshman team a couple weeks ago, so maybe JV's it's a bounce
well,
up.
They're getting a couple guys back this week, actually.
All right. Well, here's my pick for the week. I got Tampa Bay at Carolina. I'm gonna take the under at 50.5. I'm gonna take Denver at Vegas. I'm gonna take the over at 51. I'm gonna take Seattle to cover against the Rams at 1.5. I'm gonna take Baltimore and New England. I'm gonna take the over there at 43.5, and then the Saints and the Niners. I'm gonna take the Saints as well, even though I was giving you a bad time about it. I owed them an apology, and now I'm going to take them as well. I'm more than made up for my hatred towards Drew Brees for a week there. So, and comparing him to Tyler said to Matthew Stafford. So I apologize to doing that to you, Drew Brees. So, gentlemen, enjoy the games today. You guys just going to be watching them there? Or you guys be able to check out the games today?
Yeah, I'll just be chilling.
Yeah.
just
No working.
relaxing,
That's
man.
Sweatpants and a sweatshirt.
Sweat, eat the food. That's good. All right, guys. That was a good segment this week. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let us know maybe some of your picks as well. Clint, send them in this week, and we'll get them in. Clint had a pretty decent week as well last week. So we'll be back here with the NBA segment here to wrap it up. All right. Welcome back to the Fatboy FadeAway Podcast here. Back from break. We're here to do the NBA draft, NBA segment here together. We got some questions for us. We're going to do a top 10 mock draft. I'm pumped, gentlemen. Draft, I'm a big draft guy. I know you guys are as well. Draft set for this Wednesday. I think last week I gave false information, said Thursday. It's actually Wednesday, November 18th, 4:00 by not our sponsor, but on ESPN. So that's where that's going to be. Like I said, we did all those redrafts, during the start of the coronavirus. So that was kind of fun to do. So it kind of got my mind just all ready for all the players that kind of got drafted over the years, and just the mindset of all the bad picks that were taken, and how hard it is to do this pretty much. And then, listening to other mocks throughout the week, and on Twitter, people like to give out their thoughts and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to see it'll be interesting to see what actually goes down on Wednesday after all the talk, all the, the nonsense beforehand there. So what are your guys' thoughts? You guys looking forward to it?
Yeah, trying to find that next Joe Smith, whoever can be out there.
Thankfully, the Warriors don't have the first pick.
During those previous drafts, this makes me realize most of these names don't matter.
It's true. It's so true, Ed. You're right. And it's literally just basically a handful of guys, 5 guys you probably want from every draft, right? It's maybe not even that. Some of them is 2, sadly. So, all right, I guess with that said, let's jump right into it. Let's get right into this year's 2020 top 10 mock draft. We're going to go like this. Tyler's going to get the first pick with Minnesota. Casey will get Golden State. I'll get Charlotte, and I'll go back to Tyler, and then to Casey, and so on through the top 10 there. And so Tyler, we'll give the picks basically as how we would take it if we were Minnesota. And then, how Casey would take it as Golden State. Of course, if that player is taken ahead of you, he will not be able to redraft that player, of course. So, gentlemen, welcome to the 2020 NBA draft. I am not your commissioner. I am Daren Breyer here. Let's get this party started. Tyler, with the first pick, we have the Minnesota Timberwolves. Who are you taking?
I say don't draft by need, but I'm taking Anthony Edwards with the first pick. Just with D'Angelo and Cat, I can't take Wiseman or Ball, so
I'm starting to hear a little bit. Ball's starting to get a little bit more hype towards that first pick. Do you think that's just talk to get somebody to trade up?
I think that's a trade. I think they're looking to make a trade up. Yeah, get out. Yeah. I don't think they'll take him.
It's kind of a weird play. It just seems like with Ball in Minnesota, I think it just would be because Russell likes the ball so much, as we know from just our, just from watching him, that it doesn't really seem like that would be the natural fit. You know what I mean? So, All right. So, Case, any thoughts on that pick? You think it's a good pick, Minnesota Edwards?
Yeah, he's probably my favorite player. He's probably my favorite player in the draft, but I think he has the most upside out of everybody. I don't know. I don't know. I do know. To me, I think he has the most upside just from watching him play. His handles, his passing, his scoring, shoot off the dribble. He reminds me a lot of actually a college James Harden.
Yeah, be honest, the thing is he can't shoot quite as consistent yet as Harden was able to at that point. So we'll see if he can get to that level, but he does have the physical tools that Harden did. So, all right, so Ball with the first pick. I'm not so sure.
No, Ball wasn't the
first. Edwards. Tyler takes with the first pick there. I had Minnesota taking Ball with the first pick, but that's so Tyler has Edwards. Edwards is off the board. Casey, that goes to you. Golden State with the second pick. Who are they taking?
Obi Toppin.
Obi Toppin with the second pick overall. Do you think that's who they would take?
That's not what you said. We're
No,
doing-
I'm just saying.
No, there's no chance they're taking Obi.
So you would take Obi Toppin there with the second pick. All right. What do you like about him?
Super freakishly athletic. He's got an NBA ready body right now. I think he just kind of would fit what they. I mean, he's not. People think he's not as good on offense for some reason, just because they've seen highlight clips of dunking. But he actually's got a pretty decent shot. I think he's got a better shot than Wiseman. I think he's a little bit stronger. I know Wiseman's 7'1", but I don't know. Maybe I'm a little biased because I watched him a lot, but I don't know. To me, I think he is going to go number 2.
You think he'll fit with the Warriors? That would be surprise for you. I'm a little surprised only because you thought because you talked so much about Okoro last week. I thought if you were going to go with a surprise pick for the Warriors, you might go with him. But the Warriors do need the big, so it does make sense. So all right, definitely a surprise there, but maybe maybe you'll call it. That'd be put some money on that in Vegas. You put $5 on that, you would win very big money on that, my friend. So third pick, I'm gonna go. Well, now that Toppin's taken there, I think it's an easy pick for Charlotte at this point. They probably definitely go with Wiseman. So I think Charlotte's the team, Tyler, that would probably maybe has to trade up to possibly get him.
Yeah. Not in this scenario.
No, so I think if this falls this way, and Casey's he's not off base in the sense of the Warriors need a big. So, if they are going to be if there's going to be a surprise guy, maybe Toppin's the guy. I kind of would think they would lean towards the USC guy a little bit more, but I have heard a lot of good things about Toppin, and I know that his freakish athleticness is a big key there. So, but Charlotte, they're going to take Wiseman here. I think that's a good fit for them, especially with their guards. They have. I mean, for goodness sakes, their starting center is for the last 5 years has been like, what's the guy from Cody Zeller? We got to move on from Cody Zeller. So I think it's time to get Wiseman. And they just have a train wreck of bad picks. So maybe Wiseman can change that for them. What were you going to say, T?
What?
You were going to say something.
At least it's not Tyler Zeller.
Both of them there. All right, so T, that goes back to you to Chicago. They got the fourth pick. Who are you taking?
Like I said last week, I think this is perfect fit for both players and team. I'm taking LaMelo. Gets the ball right away, gets to lead the team and see where he can go.
Now, let me ask you this, though. Ball's taken. Are you hoping that they trade Levine? Or do you want to see them play together?
I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing them play together, but if they trade them, you better get something that.
Well, it just seems like Levine needs the ball too a lot, so I'm curious how that fit would work a little bit there. And they just drafted that other guy last year, Colby White. So, no, I don't think it's a bad.
Colby you can go kick rocks, Colby. You proved you weren't that great. Like, I don't care who you picked last year. Levine, there's enough for 2 guys to have the ball. Like, I don't know. Like,
I don't know. It just seems like a weird fit, Chicago and them. But I think they would definitely take him if he fell down to number 4 because he definitely has the playmaking ability. What is he, like 6'9" or something, like wingspan?
Yeah, 6'8".
He just has kind of the thing I read about him the most is the shot selection, but he's like 19. So, but there's a lot of people that think he's the best player in this draft. So if they were to get him at 4, that could turn out to be a good pick for them. So Case, that goes to you to one of the more irrelevant franchises unless LeBron James plays on their team. You got the 5th pick over there overall there with Cleveland. They have the 2 guards already. Who are you taking for them?
That's why I was kind of like looking at this and I was like, man, it's kind of a stretch for them. Like, because they got 2 guards. They got Colin Sexton and then they got, why am I blanking? The other guy.
I know.
Garland. Yeah, Darius Garland.
So I was like, I don't really know because the next, I think basically 3 or 4 of them are pretty much the best guards, but Okoro is like the guy that I've been kind of pretty high on, but I mean, he's 6'6", so I mean, it's pretty small for a small forward, but at the same time, that's kind of the new era of the NBA, kind of have 3 of those guys. So I would take Isaac Okoro.
That's actually not a bad pick for them.
He's just a lot different guard play than them. Very good defender. Offensively, really doesn't need the ball. So I think it'd be good.
That's not a bad pick for them. I had him taking the guy from Israel. regardless. So that's because they need a small forward a little bit. I'm gonna call him
I had him
Denny.
taking
Remember?
Obi.
Obi, that would be it. Yeah, I know Obi's
You
getting a lot
talking
of hype
about
to go there.
Killian Hayes?
No, I'm talking about Denny, the guy from Denny Avdia. Is that?
The Israelian.
Denny Abadia.
So I'm going with Denny there. That's who I thought they might take. But on Kuro case, I like that fit there with those two young guards that are offensive minded. Garland though is a little bit more of a defensive player too, but that would actually not be a bad pick at all. So all right, so you got him going fifth to Cleveland. I mean, I get Atlanta. I think Atlanta is definitely a team that's definitely trying to trade out of this pick as well. But we'll say they keep that pick. I'm saying they go with Okongwu out of USC. He's a very versatile big man. Not necessarily like your Toppins or Wiseman that we are like so physically imposing to where your lob threats and stuff like that. But he's kind of probably more in like your BAM role, something like that. So I think Atlanta could really use somebody like him to go with Trae Young and some of their other young pieces. And I forget who their other center is right now. Is it Collins? Maybe I want to say right now, John Collins, is that their other center? I think he could go well with. I think that duo could be good going forward there. So I'm not going to waste too much more time on Atlanta. I got them taking Okongwu out of USC 6. So Tyler, back to you. Detroit with the 7th pick.
I'm taking the best player, and I think that's going to be Killian Hayes. They need
For Detroit?
everything. Yeah, for Detroit.
They'd be happy with that pick.
Yeah, they should be, I imagine. And so I'll take the James Harden B Tech version.
No, that'd be a good one. I had him in this mock going 4th to Chicago just because what I thought, but there's a few guys that have him as their best player overall. So if they were to get him, Detroit needs any type of help. So that would be a good pick for sure. Casey, you get the biggest joke right now in the NBA. You get the Knicks. Help them. What's their pick?
I think the one it's going to be tough, but they need a lot. I mean,
yes, they do.
They have like 6 power forwards, so I don't think they need a power forward anymore. I don't really know shit about him, but everything I've heard, I guess you got to go with Cole Anthony.
Cole Anthony, it's funny. He was at one point, remember early on, he was like one of the top 2 prospects of this draft class.
He was the number 1 recruit out of high school.
So kind of the Austin Rivers effect a little bit with him in college, huh? Kind of came out hyped and stuff. So, Case, Cole Anthony for the Knicks. That would be interesting because Greg, he played with the Knicks, right? I feel like he played on the Knicks.
But I think Greg wants him to go to the Knicks.
I don't know.
That'd be an interesting pick.
That's kind of just how I think New York will work too, and I'll feel sorry for him once he gets there. But
Casey, that's actually the top of one. I thought a little bit of a reach, but like the Anthony's a bit of a reach too. I feel like, but if there's a franchise that might take a reach out of like that, I could see the Knicks kind of being that team that does that. So that's not a bad call there at all. All right, so Cole Anthony. He's not a bad scorer at all. I mean, that he can do. He's a very good scorer for a guard. So you got him going to New York. All right, so that gives me Washington here. So to me, it's easy at this point. I got Denny going to Washington if he's still available over there. So I think they need a small forward. So if he falls all the way to number 9, that'd be a good pick for them. Some people have him ranked as like the 3rd best prospect. I get a little concerned when people say, well, his shooting needs to come around. So I get a little concerned about that. And I don't like when your free throw percentage is like at 50%. I'm not a big fan of that as well. So that always worries me if you're not shooting good free throw percentages. So I don't know. I'm Washington. I got Denny going there, number 9. Any thoughts? Or Tyler, we go to you at the last pick.
I'm not touching Denny with a 7-foot stick. I don't like that guy. You shoot 50% from the line. Something is fundamentally wrong with you if you're a small forward.
I used to get so frustrated with Baron Davis too about that. Remember, he shot free throws kind of crappy too for like being.
Yeah, but he was above 50, but he was like low 60s.
Yeah, he's at least 60s there. So, all right, Tyler, you round out the top 10 here. Phoenix, who you taking? I'm curious.
I guess I'm taking Halliburton. Just taking the best prospect available again. Doesn't really fit what I need, but that's okay.
He slips. I had him taking the guy you had last week as or not a sleeper, but you actually threw him out as another sleeper. Was Tyrell Terry out of Stanford?
Yeah.
I think he would be a decent fit if with Phoenix as well. He kind of came on late, but I think if Halliburton fell to number 10, that would be a great steal for them.
I had like RJ Hampton still available and was in my top 10. And
there's some good players still available. Precious, we talked about last week, is still Precious. He's still available.
A movie?
He's still available.
I don't think he's getting picked.
Sleeper pick, Tyrese Maxey.
Yeah, Maxey was in there too, 13. So it'll be interesting, gentlemen, to see how this plays out. So I wrote them all down. Casey, man, if you get that top and wet, I'm just gonna go crazy, but it's gonna be like calling you immediately.
I'm gonna be so disappointed.
You're a genius, and I hate the Warriors for doing that. And I hate the Warriors.
Why?
Because he's a bum.
I don't know. I wouldn't want him over Wiseman, but we'll see what happens.
Scratch him off on coming on our podcast after Tyler just ripped on him for no reason.
Yeah. Okay. So Toppin's not going to be on our podcast, and Carl Anthony Towns isn't going to be on our podcast. Based on last week as well.
I apologize for Carl. I shouldn't have called him a bitch. That was rude.
So those are two guys, and Drew Brees. So we have three people that will not be on our podcast.
Drew Brees should be understanding. He had to make one of the biggest apologies all of this year.
That's true. Yeah, I guess.
But I've had a lyric about him.
That's true. He did. All right, so let's get to that's our mock draft here of the top 10. I wanted to kind of get into some questions here that I had either regarding the draft or just kind of NBA questions that were coming up during the week before we get out of here. So here's some questions I was kind of thinking about was, out of the teams that are in the lottery, and we can add like Boston in there too and San Antonio if you want. We didn't get into all the way down to their teams, but a team that drafting, in the lottery, what's the team you feel like needs to make a trade the most that's in there? Like on draft day needs to make a trade up or or maybe down, I guess, but probably more up. But what's the team you're thinking? I had Detroit. I just feel like they're a nobody right now. So I just feel like they're the team that needs to get something going a little bit. So you guys got a thought on that? I
would agree. Detroit I just trade to get rid of some of these players you have.
Yeah, no doubt.
And if you can move up, you move up.
Case?
I think Houston's got to get off Westbrook somehow.
But they're not in the lottery.
I thought what team wants to trade?
No, what team in the lottery you think needs to trade the most?
I would say the Warriors then. I mean, just flip that 2 pick for like a Bradley Beal.
Gosh, that would be nice.
Do that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, that would be nice. I think
I have to throw in some other pieces, obviously, but I mean,
I heard the Warriors trying to trade for Wendell Carter,
Wendell?
Which is
he's not bad.
No, he's not bad at all, but he's no Bradley Beal.
No, not at all. All right, yeah. So we got 2 Detroits, and then we got a Warriors in there to make a draft day lottery team. Also a team that needs to probably make a trade. I think is Atlanta, possibly. Maybe they can move up or move back as well. I think they're kind of in a position where they can maybe kind of do something a little different. And also New York, they're kind of in a always spot to do something. All right, number 2 here. A lot of stuff going on with Mr. Westbrook this week. It sounds like he doesn't want to be in Houston anymore. He's at that weird age. He's 32, basically 31. He's going to be 32 next year. We kind of know what his game is, right? He kind of struggles in the playoffs at certain times. Kind of probably needs to be on a certain team at this point in his career. Instead of where do you think he's going to go, I guess my question more would be like, where do you like Westbrook playing next year? Where do you think is a good fit? Obviously, it's got to be somewhat realistic, but where do you like Westbrook at playing next year, T?
I think the best place for him to go is to the franchise no one wants to play with, for the player no one wants to play with, and that'd be the Knicks.
Just because he could dominate the scene, basically.
And he'd be the one-man show. He'd get his wish. No one's gonna want to come with him and play there, and they'll be better with him. He's a good play. I like Westbrook. Yeah, in the East.
No doubt. Case, you got a spot Westbrook might be a good fit?
I think he'd be great in Philadelphia.
That would be an interesting fit there, playing with those guys. It'd be interesting because don't him and Embiid have a little beef too? Or they have pretend beef or something?
Yeah.
That would be an interesting one.
I mean, you would play like 80s basketball where you're taking all twos, but I mean,
There would be no. How bad would Embiid be? Like, I have no room down on this block. I'm our best
I know
shooter.
He'd
I know
literally
he'd
run
be-
a triangle offense like within like 20 feet.
Yeah, you'd be in trouble there with that one for sure. But yeah, no, that would be an interesting fit. I don't think they have the money to pull that off unless Harris is involved in the trade, which maybe isn't the worst thing in the world either.
Not be the
I don't
best
know. I
thing
kind of
for
think the Clippers. I think the Clippers would be a decent fit for him. They don't really have any playmakers at the point guard spot. Maybe Kawhi could contain him a little bit towards the end of games by ISOing. But the fear there is Westbrook takes too many shots again, maybe at the end of the game, and takes shots away from Leonard. So maybe you don't want that either. The one team I kind of think I would want
again together.
Yeah, I kind of like the Hornets. I know the Hornets are like, no, they shouldn't do anything like this because they're going to be horrible. But I kind of like the Hornets to the Warriors, the We Believe years. Sometimes it's nice just to get in. Like, I know that sounds stupid, but it's like, I mean, sometimes it's nice just to get in the playoffs. If you're a Hornet, if you're a Hornets fan, maybe that's the way you go with that there. So I don't know. That's where I think Westbrook, he's getting a little bit more hype. So he'll probably be out of here at some point before this thing wraps up. All right, I got a few more for us. Paul to Phoenix. That's getting a little bit of hype. What do you guys think about that one? Think that's the best fit form case?
Chris Paul, I mean, shoot, man, he's pretty damn good at what he does. I mean, he's a great
Phoenix
leader. I think he'd be perfect for Devin Booker. So, he would just get all the shots he needs. I mean, he already does, but now he get open looks.
Yeah,
Chris Paul can actually shoot pretty damn well.
Yeah, no, that's the one thing about Paul's game. He's always been kind of an underrated shooter for his size, of course, too. Phoenix, you kind of have what do you
match
think about
made in heaven. This is a great fit and would put Phoenix in, if they're healthy, in borderline Western Conference Final area. In my
Western
opinion.
Conference Finals?
Yeah.
Wow.
Paul, Booker.
I was thinking, could they get to the 8th seed with Paul?
Whoa.
The 8th seed with Paul? What do you mean?
Maybe the 7th?
The Thunder made the playoffs last year.
The Thunder would be the team that jump out, right? But the Warriors are jumping in.
The playoffs.
I was just thinking the Warriors are jumping in. I don't know. West is pretty deep.
You and Daren been smoking this more than Dolphins.
You have two top 20 players, and then you have Ayton. I think it's not that far off.
All right, I guess I'd have to read.
I think you're underrating Paul.
Maybe so. Because there's some good teams in the West, I guess. Maybe Houston jumps out, I guess, is the team that jumps out as well. But if Harden's still there, I still like their chances.
You like them more than Phoenix with Chris Paul?
I don't know. Probably not with just those two. I guess I don't trust the other pieces yet in Phoenix, so I have to see a little bit more. So, all right, Western Conference Finals. That's it.
I said borderline. I think they'll get out of the first round.
Do that trade. Are you kidding me? Do that trade.
Yeah, they should do that trade in a second.
Yeah, it would be a good fit. I also think Milwaukee would be a good fit.
So happy right now hearing Tyler saying that. We're buying playoff tickets this year.
Playoffs. I kind of think Milwaukee should
the
get
hot dogs are no longer cold. Have you seen that Charles Barkley?
Yeah, that's great.
The nachos have pickles.
The nachos are all hard. The cheese is all hard now. I can't do anything. The seats are uncomfortable.
What's good about Phoenix? There's plenty of parking.
Exactly.
The cheerleaders are ugly.
Chuck, I miss him. Well, December 22nd, people. We almost got basketball back. All right, 2 more questions here. We'll wrap it up here. NBA segment. Player you thought was going to be good that was drafted high. So, let's say top 5. Maybe, that you thought, something like that, a high pick that you thought was going to be good, but never was. So a few for me is I thought Mike Dunleavy was going to be better than what he was. He played pretty well at Duke. He turned out to be a solid NBA player, but definitely not a top 3, definitely not a 3rd overall pick. I also got to throw Thomas Robinson in there from Kansas. I thought he was going to be pretty good. He's out of the NBA now. So he had not a very good career. And this guy's still playing, and he stole some money at the end of his career, but I thought he was going to be a lot better. It was Evan Turner as well. So those were a few guys that I thought were going to be a little bit better than they were being drafted high there. You guys got a few guys?
I can't even think of his name. The guy who played for the Kings, won Rookie of the Year, and then he was going like 120. Tyreek Evans. Yeah, I thought he'd be all-star every year, and kind of.
Yeah, he just couldn't shoot consistently enough either.
He's like one of the
Casey.
few rookies ever to average like 25-5 or something.
Yeah, remember he had that sneaky good series against the Warriors in 2015 on the Pelicans too. He had he was pretty good in that series. He had a chance to beat him in game 3 there at the end of the game, just missed short. If anybody remembers that at the 3-point line, would have beat him. Case, you got a player?
Yeah, one guy I thought actually going in, he plays for the Warriors, is Wiggins. I thought he'd be a lot better than he is. I don't know.
Yeah, he hasn't matched his.
He had. I mean, he's not a bust, but he's not exactly lived up to his potential.
Hopefully the Warriors can change that around this year. That's what we're hoping. That's what we're banking on this year. But yeah, I think a lot of people. Man, it's funny. He takes a lot of heat too. You're right.
Jabari Parker's in that list.
Jabari Parker for sure is in that list. Yeah, definitely. He's definitely was one I was thinking of. Tyrus Thomas. That's another one that's a big bust.
I never thought he'd be good though.
I never thought he'd be good, but yeah, he was terrible as well. So there as well. So all right. So last one here. Favorite draft memory, or just a memory you have of the draft day? Like, I don't know, like growing up is always a big deal for me, like getting home from like soccer practice and seeing who the Warriors drafted. Like I said, they were always in the lottery, right? So this is like literally the playoffs for us as fans. A lot of the times was them drafting because let's face it, they weren't making the playoffs. So this is like their only hope. And there were some bad picks before we get into this. Like, I mean, they showed a picture of like some of these picks. I mean, we're talking like Fuller, we're talking Anthony Randolph. I mean, we're talking Ike Diago. There's some Epi Adu. There's just a list. The list goes on. So the draft memory I have, though, for some reason, is the Vince Carter, Antoine Jameson trade that day. I don't know why. Going home, I was so happy that they drafted Antoine Jameson. For looking back at it, I wish they had Vince Carter, but I just kind of have that image of them for some reason standing on the stage. Vince Carter wearing the Warriors hat, Antoine wearing the Raptors hat, and then just switching the hats and handing it off to each other. So that's kind of like a cool memory I kind of remember a little bit. I don't know.
Imagine Vince Carter wearing a Warriors jersey during that dunk contest, because I was in Oakland.
No, nuts.
That would have been crazy.
What do you guys got as a memory or something?
Mine is strange because it was actually with you, Daren, and I wasn't. Didn't become like real good friends till year later, but it was when Rasheed Wallace got drafted. We were at Foot Locker, and it was on the over. Like I was like, "Who the hell is Rasheed Wallace?" I didn't know who he was at the time. I knew because those were like weird North Carolina years with Stackhouse.
Yeah, it was like Stackhouse.
They were good, but they weren't great for some reason. They should have been. You're like, oh, he's good. He's a big guy. And normally I do with Casey in these like instances. I don't know why I was with you at Foot Locker. Maybe he was buying a shoe with or something with Pam, or I don't know. But
that's funny. That's funny.
Just remember you being like Rasheed Wallace.
Rasheed Wallace. Rasheed Wallace never made an All-NBA team.
It's insane.
He never made an All-NBA team, so like he wasn't quite as good as I thought he was. Looking, he was, but when I saw that one,
well, we know how those voting goes. LeBron complains about him every year.
True, that as well. He probably maybe could have made one of those at your list. I'm sure one of the times. Case, you got a memory?
Well, that's what happens when you leave Robert Horry wide open for a game. Yeah, I mean, I guess my favorite draft, like memory, I would say Donovan McNabb, but that's the NFL. But
yes,
the NBA for sure was when the Warriors actually got a good draft class, and I didn't know much about Klay Thompson, but I remember you saying you went to go watch a game with your wife, saying this guy's unreal. And then they got Festus, and then they got
that's a different draft. They got Barnes, Green, and Festus in that one.
Excuse me, yeah. But I mean, just that first draft of getting like that second next best player, I was like, finally, we actually have a backcourt. Like there was just years of like Larry Hughes and Bontigo Cummings, and I was like, man, at least these guys are like top 10 picks, like that are like, known to be good. Like,
they finally did. Yeah,
it took me a year to come around to Klay, but I came around hard.
Man, that's always good to go hard. That play with Klay in that game was incredible. He had like 28 points in the first half. I was like, good Lord. That was a good Cal team, too. They actually won the Pac-12.
I'm watching Eddie House.
It was the year they had Randall, and I don't remember who the other big was, but Randall was like I want to say he might have been the Pac-12 player of the year even that year. Maybe not.
It was a Pac-10 back then, I think.
Cal always has like one good player like every like 5 years.
Sean Lampley.
Leon Poe.
But I mean, look at Jaylen Brown. He's a stud.
No, they do. They do it. Ryan Anderson.
I mean, they're good. Jason Kidd.
Ryan Anderson.
Mason.
Jason Kidd.
Yeah, Jason Kidd. Yeah.
All right.
They're good.
So, gentlemen, NBA draft this week. That's going to wrap it up for this week. Thanks for listening. We appreciate you guys checking out the podcast. We just do our best to entertain you. We're just trying to get better at it. Like Tyler said in a tweet last week, if we're terrible, let us know. If we're good at something, let us know. I know that's probably maybe far and few between, but either way, we have thick skin. Let us know if we're not very good. We just want to improve, and we're just trying to have fun doing this. So, like I said, we're just looking forward to doing the next one as well. You can subscribe to us on our YouTube channel. Just takes a second to hit the button, not too long. You can do it. Just hit that
Hit the
little
bell
red button there.
for the reminders.
The like
as well.
also would be.
Hit the bell.
Yep, that as well. That would be helpful. You can follow us on Twitter. I'll be on there a little bit today at Fatboy FadeAway. I'll get this up here posted on there. So just love to be interacting with some of you guys on Twitter there. You can follow Casey at his Beverly Hills tweet at Casey905-82186. And of course, we can follow Tyler at Tyler MGUIRK, Tyler McGurk. He'll be on there today, probably saying a few random things as well. And I'm going to probably be up there hyping the Dolphins as much as possible and trying to piss off more people with the Dolphins talk. So hopefully they win, so I don't look like another idiot again this week. So, gentlemen, any last thoughts? Or we good?
Go Chargers, go.
Peace.
Arnold.
Peace. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you next week. Later.